Welcome to Let's Get Into It. I am your host, Sherelle Higgins. Let's Get Into It is a safe space to have real conversations that are meant to uplift, encourage, and let you know you are not the only one dealing with life. Each episode of Let's Get Into It is designed to provide illuminating and thought-provoking information on a variety of topics. In fact, no topic is off limit. If you would like to see a topic discussed, please feel free to make a recommendation. My special guest and I will have a great time discussing topics that the mainstream media wouldn't dare discuss. We will bring these conversations to you with an open mind, respectfully, from different perspectives, and most importantly, with love. Thank you for joining me and my special guest. Now, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. I hope you are having the best start to your week that you can. I know you have a lot going on and there's a lot happening in our country, but I wanted to come to you all today to give you hopefully some good news. There was an article today in GovExec, and in that article, it talked about the Office of Special Counsel. Now, my last podcast, I was telling you all about the Office of Special Counsel, and if you were a probationary period employee, that you could file a claim against your agency saying that had a prohibited personnel practice by terminating you from your job during your probationary period and citing performance as the cause. Well, the Office of Special Counsel looked at some of the claims that came in, and out of the claims that came in, they decided for whatever reason that they would have 6 employees from different agencies to forward to the Merit Systems Protection Board to ask for corrective action. Now, the corrective action is because the Office of Special Counsel found that the probationary period employees who were terminated, that it was an illegal act. And so they issued decisions for 6 employees. Those employees came from agencies such as the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, also from the Veterans Administration, Office of Personnel Management, the Energy Department, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Education. And they are saying in their finding that because these actions were illegal, that it could possibly impact all the other probationary periods within period employees within those agencies. In addition to that, they are saying that this could expand across government, because what they found is that not only did these employees not have performance problems, that the agencies were using boilerplate language, and that there was no specifics given to the employee about what their performance deficiencies were, which is part of the requirements that you have to do when an employee has poor performance. You have to tell them specifically what that is and how it bounces against their performance evaluation plans. And so they sent a request to the Merit Systems Protection Board asking for a 45-day stay. And the Merit Systems Protection Board has 3 days to respond to that request. If they decide not to respond, or they don't respond within 3 days, then the 45 days automatically goes into effect. And what that means for probationary period employees is that they would then be allowed to return to work and also receive back pay. And so this is really, really good news. And we want to make sure that, the word gets out, because what they're going to find, this is not going to only be for the 6 agencies that I listed, but what they're going to find is that this is being done across government, and that they probably end up having to bring back those probationary period employees and actually conduct a RIF, a reduction in force. And so the public statements that were made by the administration and by Doge is that they was doing this for reorganization purposes and also for cost savings, which are two of the criteria that agencies need to justify in order to conduct a reduction in force. And so the Office of Special Counsel is saying that because they use those two reasons for terminating lots of probationary period employees, that essentially what they did was conducted an illegal RIF. And so stay tuned. I'm gonna follow that story and continue to come to you and let you know where they fall on that. In addition to that, there's a breaking story about the Doge staffers who quit en masse. And it was about 20 federal staffers who were working for Doge that they all signed a letter of resignation saying that they refused to use their expertise to dismantle critical public services, and that those who are being recruited by Doge, they lack the expertise and the experience to be able to fill in behind these 20 employees. And so that is going to um, delay all of the information that Doge is sending out to federal employees via OPM. They also said that they swore to serve the American people. And it became clear that they could no longer do that with the route that Doge is taking to dismantle the federal workforce. They said that they will not be used to compromise core government systems, jeopardize American sensitive data, or dismantle critical public services. And so they said they would not allow Doge to use their expertise to carry out or legitimize their actions. And so that's a breaking story. And so I'm sure you'll hear it all over the news today, which again is a good thing, because the way that we stop some of the craziness is by people on the inside speaking out and refusing to acquiesce to the requests that they are receiving from Doge. Also, I wanted to quickly cover performance reviews, because I've heard different stories, I've seen different stories on social media. And so I know that one of the things that's happening is OPM has closed down e-performance so that agencies can remove anything related to DEIA out of performance plans, and anything probably related to EEO. And so while they're closing it down and updating the performance plans, they may also be including new duties that employees are going to be expected to accomplish. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I want you to know that this is actually a good thing for federal workers. And the reason why it's a good thing for federal workers is because the standards that you had in place, depending on when your performance cycle starts, they cannot rate you on anything that happened between then and now. And once they give you new standards, then you have a minimum period of performance before you could even get a performance rating. So what does that mean? That means that since they closed it down this week, let's say they reopen it next week, and they need to sit down with you, have a conversation, tell you what they took out, tell you what they added, and allow you to ask any questions. Once you sign that performance plan, or if you choose not to, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But once you sign that performance plan, then the clock starts ticking. And depending on the agency that you work for, your minimum performance period could be 60 days, it could be 90 days. You want to look at your agency policy if you have access to it to see what your minimum performance period is. And so this again could delay some actions that Doge is trying to take against federal employees. So make sure that you ask questions about anything that's added to your performance standard, and your supervisor should be able to clearly articulate to you what it means, and also the difference between what that performance looks like at the fully successful level, at the exceeds level, and at the outstanding level, so that you understand exactly what it is that's going to be expected of you. Now, I suspect that many employees at the end of their performance cycle will not be getting an outstanding rating as probably you have in the past, or even maybe exceeds. And so you want to make sure that you know what's in your performance plan and that you are doing what's in your performance plan. Now, if you choose not to sign your performance plan, that is up to you. Nobody can make you sign it. However, it will still be your performance plan. The only thing that's going to happen if you refuse to sign it is that the supervisor is going to annotate the document and say that they communicated it to you on such and such date and that the employee refused to sign it. So it will still be your performance plan. You will still be held accountable for what's in that plan. So it's really going to be important for you to really know what's in your performance plan and what the performance associated with the new things added looks like to the supervisor. One of the things I failed to mention when I was talking about the Office of Special Counsel is the Office of Special Counsel has authority to take action against against any employee who terminated probationary period employees without cause. And so I know a lot of that communication came out of the Office of Personnel Management. And so the whoever's name is on those documents, or if it came from within your agency, whose ever name is on those documents to say that you are terminated as a probationary period employee, the Office of Special Counsel has the authority to take action against those people for performing an illegal personnel action. So stay tuned. I know it's a lot going on, and I'm keeping up as best I can. I am also available via DM if you have a specific situation you would like my professional advice on. I've been receiving requests via DM and helping people out, helping people understand what their particular situation is. You want to make sure that you understand it's all right now, it's all about education. It is all about your education on these topics so that you can best position yourself to prepare for what may come your way. In addition to that, I know that at the Department of Housing and Urban Development today, they issued RIF notices to all GS-13s and below in a subunit or sub-organization under HUD. And so the way that they did it is they decided that according to HUD's RIF plan, that this particular area, FPM, Field Policy and Management, is one competitive area. And that one competitive area, which I talked about in my RIF video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at that RIF video on my YouTube channel at Sherelle Higgins 123 and educate yourself on that. So that one competitive area essentially means that those people who are being riffed at the GS-13 and below grade levels, they do not have any bumping and retreating rights. So if they just came into field policy and management, or they were promoted into that area and came from somewhere else, they have no opportunity to bump or retreat back into a position in which they're either qualified for or a position they previously held. And so, just again, educate yourself on what all of this means through my video on reductions in force and what bumping and retreating is, so that you know that once you get if you get a RIF notice, you'll know whether it is in compliance with the RIF regulations. So, the RIFs, the reductions in forces are coming. It's interesting to me that for field policy and management because they're doing away with all the employees at the 13 and below level, both in Washington, D.C. and in outside of Washington, D.C. So across the country, they are terminating all employees at the GS 13 and below level for this particular area. So, they are going to set it up to get the maximum amount of employees off the rolls. Now, these employees who receive RIF notices, they have to give you a 60-day notice. And so their date is going to be May 18th when they will actually leave the roles. Depending on how long they've been working for the federal sector, they will get severance pay. And so again, if you don't know how to calculate severance pay, please go to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe at Sherelle Higgins 123. If you need me to send you a link, DM me, let me know. I will send you a link to my YouTube channel. But they will receive severance pay. So it's really, the severance pay is calculated based on your longevity in the federal sector. So, stay tuned. Try to take care of yourself during this time. Try to, I know every day is 5, 6, 7 different things that's coming at you. Just try to unplug on some days and only look at what you need to that may or may not impact you. Again, my name is Sherelle Higgins. This is Let's Get Into It Real Quick. I wanted to give you all that good news from the Office of Special Counsel. They are looking at it and they are taking a hard stance, which they should. That's their role, is to protect the federal workers from illegal actions. And so they have determined that the mass firings for probationary period employees, particularly at these 6 federal agencies, are illegal, and they are taking steps to have those employees reinstated. So again, I'm Sherelle Higgins. Let's get into it real quick. If you have any questions, DM me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Have a great night. Thank you for joining and participating in Let's Get Into It. I want to thank my special guest for being brave enough to get into it. Without you, these conversations cannot happen. Remember, different viewpoints, respect, and love are the foundations of Let's Get Into It. If there's a topic you think I should discuss, drop me a recommendation. If you're interested in being my special guest, let me know, because we can and will get into it. Have a great day on purpose, and I look forward to your continued engagement and support as we get into it.